The Lantern Village, the Festival of Shared Light. This is a story about three monkeyteers who arrive in a village preparing for a night festival and wonder what difference three small lanterns could possibly make. Their 18th miracle-minded adventure begins when they discover that light grows useful when it is shared. The three monkeyteers reach Lantern Village just before sunset. Every doorway held an unlit paper lantern. Squirrel Monkey read a sign. Festival of Shared Light begins when everyone brings what they have. Howler Monkey nodded. Clearly they are waiting for us. A little monkey hurried past carrying an unlit lantern. Spider stopped him. Why is everything dark? The village lantern in the square went out. Everyone is waiting for someone important to relight it. Howler straightened his cape. Spider and Squirrel stared at him. What? In the square stood a tall glass lantern with a cold wick. Villagers gathered around it, holding little lamps. Nobody moved. Spider whispered, "Why doesn't someone light theirs?" An old shopkeeper shrugged. "My lantern is tiny." A baker said, "Mine could never light the whole village." A child held up a candle. "This barely lights my face." Howler stepped onto the fountain. "Citizens, the three monkeyteers will solve your illumination crisis." He looked at Spider. "Do we have fire?" "No." Squirrel checked his pack. 2 bananas, a spoon, and the pouch. Howler sighed. An unusual rescue kit. Spider inspected the wick. "It's fine," Squirrel asked. "Then what are we waiting for?" A villager answered, "For somebody with enough light." Spider looked at hundreds of small lanterns. "But everyone has one." "Yes, just not enough." The sky grew darker. The villagers complained. If the mayor were here, he'd fix it. The lamplighter should have planned better. Someone should do something. Howler nodded. "Excellent suggestions." Spider raised an eyebrow. "We are also someone." Howler lowered his hand. "That is inconvenient." Squirrel's leather pouch bumped his cape. "Pouch time." He drew a folded slip. Spider opened it. The paper read, "The light you are given is not meant to be withheld. It becomes useful when you extend it." Spider looked at the villagers. "What if one little light doesn't have to light everything?" Squirrel nodded. "What if it only has to light the next lantern?" Howler turned to the child. "May we borrow your candle?" The child handed it over. Howler lit Spider's travel lantern. Spider lit Squirrel's. Squirrel lit Howler's. 3 flames burned. Spider grinned. That was surprisingly easy. They entered the crowd. Spider lit the baker's lantern. The baker lit the shopkeeper's. The shopkeeper lit 2 more. Squirrel passed his flame to a grandmother. She lit her neighbor's. Howler held his lantern high. "Anyone requiring magnificent illumination, form an orderly line." "Just share it," said Spider. "Right." Soon little flames moved through the square. 1 became 3, 3 became 10, 10 became 50. No lantern lost its flame by lighting another. The child stared at his candle. "It's still burning." Squirrel smiled. "And now so are all those." Howler inspected his own flame. "I thought giving light away would leave me with less." Spider laughed. "How much did you lose?" "Apparently none." At last the villagers carried their lights toward the tall lantern. Spider asked, "Who gets to light it?" Everyone began pointing. "The mayor! The monkeyteers!" Spider looked at the child. "How about the smallest light?" The crowd parted. The child climbed the steps and touched his candle to the wick. Whoosh! The great lantern came alive. Cheers filled the square. Spider sat beside the fountain. "I almost believed one little monkey couldn't matter." Squirrel nodded. "That thought would have kept our lanterns dark." Howler looked across the glowing village. "Monkey Mind asks, what can one little monkey possibly do?" Spider said, "Then it waits for someone more important." Squirrel tucked the slip back into the pouch. "Miracle Mind stops measuring the light and starts extending it." Howler lifted his lantern. "I have always said I am a beacon." Spider laughed. "You said you were important. Same general direction." Music began. The villagers carried their lanterns through the streets until the valley shimmered. No single lantern had lit the village. No lantern had needed to. The three monkeyteers tossed their feathered hats into the air and cheered together. One for all and all for one. And then they shouted, "Love all, for all is love."